So you guys were I'm hearing a lot of you guys wanted a theme song shortened, so here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Sometimes she plays them. So does that, and when she does it with the cat, does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. So, it's shorter. There you go. CrazyCatLady or Martha Butler does not own any trailers or pictures. I use them under fair use, educational, for education and entertainment purpose.
Hi everybody, Martha here. So today we're doing, before we begin with this review of the last story, before we get to the vlog of this, it looks like Roxanne, where is she? Okay, I watched the thing with Matt Pat, and he found, one of the glitches for Roxanne at the beginning. I do agree this episode of the last one is the most distorted one so far. But I missed her glitch. Maybe you can find a picture of it. So I just wanted to tell you guys I missed that one. Sorry. It's hard not to miss. It's hard to miss these. It's hard not to miss these things. They're only on the screen for 1 second. Okay, you have to pause the darn thing to do it. And I really can't with mine. He can, but I can't. But okay. So let's begin with the last story for this one, which is called Together Forever. Wow, actually that line here, that the title does fit what happens at the very end. Perfectly. I did not think about that right about now. The title's perfect for what happens to these characters at the very end. So, these two characters, Brittany and Jessica, are the reason why I don't watch many horror movies, or because of these type of characters, because I can't stand people who want people younger than them, people they think are beneath them, to serve them or treat them like they don't matter. That's what they're gonna not like. And one of the few times I'm perfectly okay with characters dying, maybe not as bad as these two girls did, but I was perfectly okay with these two girls dying in this story. Okay, I was perfectly okay with it. They can die. Maybe not that gruesome, but maybe they can die for all I care. So they are both. We didn't really do this in the school. We did not have a princess. I don't remember us having a princess and a prince for homecoming. But we just did queen and king. But this school does both both do king and queen and princess and prince. And that's what this one's about the two princesses wanting two little 8th graders who have come to the school because their school has been flooded, and the school and they have to share school with the middle schoolers, and so they are mad about it, and they basically don't like the fact that these little girls are nearby them a lot. Like, they're in the hallway with them at the beginning. They're in the same exact lunch table. They're in the same exact class as them. They're in 10th grade. I don't know if it's prom. I think it's prom, actually. There's prom that they're actually talking about, but the thing is, they're allowed to go to the dance. At my school, you had to be dating. You had to be invited by senior or junior to come if you were a sophomore. I guess this school's different. than mine. They allow the other two classes to come. Let me check. Pretty sure it's prom. To me, they're very similar dances, so don't. To me, they're both the same. To me, this one pretty much costs more, and they both have king and queens. Yeah, it's homecoming. Okay, it's homecoming. Oh, whatever. Yeah, they did allow all the grades for coming homecoming. Okay, that's why. So, anyway, before I got the dances mixed up, they allow them to come since they're part of the school now. They're allowing at least the 8th graders to go. I don't know about the other grades, though. Every single school is different when it comes to middle school, basically. But anyway, they get their weird idea to make Mendy and Cindy, that are the two girls' names, they rhyme, as their lady in waiting. Back like in the olden days, queens and princesses had people who wait upon them, like get their clothes and stuff like that. I know they still kind of do that nowadays, but it's not as bad as it was in the olden days. The king messed with them, literally, in the olden days. Like the old ones that Henry VIII had messed with. Like I think like a lot of his ladies and ladies were his next wives. Like Anne Boleyn was one of his next wives. That was actually Catherine's lady in waiting, and so on and so forth. But anyway, they decided, like during the dance, after they have their robotics class, they get assigned to a bunch of different animals. They get a pig they get a pig named Rosie. That's probably like that banjo pig that was in the Pit 6 game. I think that was the one where they had all those silly other barn animals that were just authentic versions of the original band. Then it came back in the 7th game where they said weird things to you. But they decide to like come back the next night, middle of the night, after they go partying with their boyfriends at a restaurant that the girls show up at too. It's like these girls are not allowed to have fun. It's because they're literal lower than this news. They can't have fun, basically. And they go back to there when nobody's at the school, which is not a good idea. No wonder something happened to them. You're not supposed to go back to school when nobody's there. I mean, maybe there is a janitor. There's no proof that there is no janitor there, but even when I went to college, when we went to school, we used the school at the we lived. Our college is right now was not too close away from the high school, and we used the teacher's high school room for teaching, because she was both a high school teacher and a college professor. They were still there. There's people still. I saw janitor guys still cleaning the room at the time. So whatever. I can't believe they actually allow students there that late, but okay. Especially high school students. But they're working on them. They both come an idea to program the Rosie to make them waiting and eat them like that. So this pig is a lot like the one from the place from Baby, where they put the kids inside their belly and spring lock them, just like in the 5th game. So, and by the time they push the button on the pig, and sadly, very gruesomely, Brittany gets grabbed first and gets put inside the belly of the pig. And Jessica's trying to help her friend, and she's not able to because the animatronic has a very strong grip on Brittany. And the way they describe it in this book is pretty gruesome. I can understand if anybody would find this part disgusting or scary or whatever in this book. I mean, like, we have seen several people died in this series, and this way, and in the original series, like, I had to wonder, how did William Afton survive being spring-locked twice in that series by it? I think he did it twice, but we've seen it, like, happen in the first story, the first book. I think it was, like, the third one. We have seen it in The New Kid. We've seen it in The Breaking Wheel. In this. But this one, we see it twice. The same thing happens to Jessica. After, like, the thing happens, grabs Jessica. And after she gets put into the belly, even though she cries and fights it, and stuff like that, either the custodian has headphones on, like I do when I work as a janitor, so I probably would not hear them either, or nobody's in the building, and so it eats both of them, and when she's inside the belly, Jessica can hear Brittany, so Rosie is now Brittany. So, and the same thing happens to Jessica. The last line, we read, like I usually do, read the last page for you guys. And I'll read from that. How far away is that spot? Nah, I'm not going to read that far. But, basically, Mindy and Cindy comes back the next day, and, the pig starts waiting on them, but it has Brittany's voice, and it also has Jessica's voice, it says, and stuff like that, and, the teacher ends up having, like, can't finish his sentences, starts saying a sentence, then you can't finish it. Kind of like that one Jimmy Neutron character that doesn't finish his sentences. That was a villain. I forgot his name. But anyway, so I'll read the last page for you guys. The last 2 pages for you. Like I usually do. Okay. Mindy looked at Rosie. Did Rosie sound like Jessica? She decided to see if Rosie would say something else. What are you doing here, Rosie? She asked. I'm here to serve you and Cindy, Rosie said in Jessica's smoothing tender. Wow, Mindy grinned. She turned to Cindy. You're right. It is her voice. Cindy nodded. She stepped up in front of Rosie eagerly. What do you mean by served us? Cindy asked the animatronic pig. Rose did an awkward shrug, then bowed. I am your ladies in waiting, and I will treat you like your queen, and I will do whatever you want me to do. Help you make your life easier. Just tell me what you need, please. Ladies, Mindy repeated. Just one of you? I am your ladies in waiting, Rosie repeated. Whoever programmed her needs lessons in grammar, Cindy said. Mindy laughed. Queens, huh? She giggled. Rosie nodded. You are the queens. You deserve the best. I can't argue with that. And you, Cindy? And Mindy said, and you, Cindy? Cindy shook her head. She held up her backpack. Can you carry this for me? Rosie nodded happily and took the backpack from Cindy, head and over and turned to Mindy. My lady, may I have yours too? Mindy shrugged, snorted. My lady, that's hilarious! She... No, I think I went too far back. I'll continue reading, I guess. Glanced at Rosie. Rosie smiled and fixed her smile at her face, waited patiently. Mindy shrugged. Okay, let's get this kindly. This is getting kind of heavy. She handed the animatronic to Rosie. Rosie took it easily. You can handle. I can handle my own backpack, Mindy said. As you wish to be, Rosie said. Cindy laughed and then did a little dance. This is the coolest thing ever, she sneezed again. Gesundheit, Rose said again. Cindy grinned. I love that. She took another tissue and blew horned into it. As she flicked her nose, Cindy looked down and she frowned at the ground. What's that? She pointed at the ground. Mindy followed the direction of her finger. She saw a drip of something thick and red. Must be paint, Mindy said. Mindy grabbed her friend's free hand, and together they skipped in front of the robotic classroom with Rosie toddling along at their heels. Mr. Thorman stood in the classroom as Mindy and Cindy took their seats, and Rosie Porkchop set Cindy and the girl's robotic on the table in front of them and sat down. Mr. Thorn paused to raise an eyebrow at the pig, and he looked from the pig to Mindy and Cindy, then back to the pig. Did the other team, Jessica and Brittany, trade projects for some? Mindy and Cindy exchanged looks. Yes, Mindy said quickly. I hope that you don't mind. Mr. Thorne shrugged. I can't argue with the results you got. He nodded. Well done, girls, he said. You tamed the monster. And you let me check something. He nodded next to Rosie's neck and flicked the switch. Nothing happened. And he reached inside the belly. Felt around the gray tug. Nothing happened. He straightened. Good. Currently been dissolved. What has been has been defected? What has, Mindy asked. Mr. Thorne waved a hand for a subject of not importance and suggested of last night from old Springlock's suit. The past animatronics and part of the costume for, he pointed at Rosie Porkchop, this was one of them. They have taken out of commission because they have seen too dangerous for use by. Apparently something of the old animatronics has switched modes automatically because of the glitch in the programming. So he painted Rosie and patted Rosie's big pink head. But she seemed safe enough now. Clearly done a great job reprogramming her. Mindy and Cindy exchanged a look, then smiled at Mr. Thornton. Mindy grinned at Rosie and reached the stage in front of the foot into Mindy's backpack and put onto her notepad. Thanks, Rosie, she checked. Inside of Rosie, French and the engine locking, rushing and internal machine enchantment. Two lifeless, disdainable bodies faced each other, although their lips are both facing perfectly parted, the chin of lips glowing, the mouth guarded by the glow, but would never speak again. The two girls would stare at each other in subway silence. They stood locked in constant expressions, the horror understanding. See, that even last part even sounds horrifying. And the title, like I said earlier, these two, Jessica and Brittany, are together forever. And Jake were. They're both haunting the pig. They're both sharing the pig. As you heard earlier that both Mindy and Cindy both heard Jessica and Brittany's voice coming out of the pig. Just like before Springtrap took Andrew away, they were both speaking out of the monster I forgot the monster in the epilogue in it. But sorry. Anyway, this one is pretty good. Even though I don't like the two characters, it's kind of like a lot of the horror movies. You want these characters to die because they're so horrible in the movies. Like a lot, but this is one of the few times like I said earlier, I'm okay with these two girls dying. But because they were really mean to these poor 8-year-olds who had no choice but to go to this school because their school got flooded. So it's not their fault. Does not mean you have to be mean to them, but that is high schoolers for you. They don't care. But anyway, I did like this one, even though I didn't like the characters. I do like, it was pretty gruesome in the book, but I liked it. I thought it was pretty, it was kind of unexpected somewhat. I mean, I did not expect that. I had a feeling that there was going to be a spring lock in this, but not something to that bad. So, probably going to give this one a 8 out of 10. So, I think this one was probably the best one out of the 3. I've not read the epilogue yet, but we'll see how good epilogue is and see how Jake and Officer Laster fare in the next epilogue. And last time I think it was like 13 pages. Let me see how many pages this is so far for this one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 12, 13. Sorry, with these pages were had a number. 14, 15 pages. Okay, this one has 15 pages. I don't know if that's the longest one so far, but yeah. So, I'll see you guys later. Like, favorite, and subscribe. And it's weird, I'm not sure. My weird thing on my account. It says, when I click on it, I have 200. Then it says I have 199 when I go to the page. So, I don't know which it is. So, maybe we got 200 subscribers now. If we do, yay for us. If we don't, still yay. I'm okay with it. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.